Welcome to another episode of Chaotic Harmony, episode 132. I am one of your hosts, Jonathan Seligman, and today I am joined by the sensible one, Jasmine Mah. Hello, Jasmine.
Hey,
How you doing today?
doing all right.
Doing all right. Happy Sunday. And also today we are joined by two wonderful people that are far from strangers from this podcast. From the land of angels, Frank LaGuardia. How are you, Frank?
Great. Excited to be on the podcast.
Yeah, it's always fun to have a fellow listener and a fellow friend also join us. And we have my fellow level 3 compatriots, Aiko, Sakazaki, and Glim. Hello, Aiko.
Hi, good to see everybody.
It's great to see you, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys in 2 weeks. Right? Are you guys going to be there? All of you? Noise. In case you don't know what we're talking about, Orff conference is coming on up. And the thing is, last year, last year, Frank, Aiko, you pulled off a stunt. You pulled off a stunt. Last year, you came to Orff conference with full on LA Orff swag.
Yeah.
It's true.
What was it? Jumpers? What was it again?
Jumpers, whoa.
What remind me? What were you guys wearing? It was like fancy. That's all I remember.
Adidas tracksuits. Yeah.
Tracksuits. That's right. All right. So, do you have any plans this year? What your whole crew will be doing?
Well,
Maybe.
That's a yes.
Maybe.
Oh, can you give us?
I mean, we're
exciting.
LA, so we go
Come
extra,
on.
you know.
You
Yeah.
heard it first. So I look forward to seeing y'all. Last year, though, that was special because that was your. How many years have you been running? You were celebrating an anniversary, right?
the
Yes,
50th
It
year.
was our 50.
5-0. Shoot. Oh, and Frank's
Whoa,
got it on right.
whoa,
Both of you
whoa,
have it.
whoa.
What is this? Oh, was this coordinated? Was this coordinated?
No, that's what we walk around in all day.
Okay.
Come on.
Makes sense. Checks out.
Fair enough. I know I'm trying to get San Diego to have some swag. Are you, Jasmine, is your Orff
We do
chapter?
have swag now. AROSA does have
Oh.
swag, so
Are you gonna
hopefully
be-
you'll see it at conference.
Okay. Well, I am looking forward to that. Well, before we get into all of that, this is not Swag Harmony. This is Chaotic Harmony, the show where we talk about the joys, struggles, and all things adjacent to elementary music. Last week, Jamie led the chat with Danny McKay and Ashton Avella, and also Crystal Pridmore. There, Jamie and Crystal chatted with our guests about what we talk about, the joys, struggles, and all things adjacent to elementary music, but from the LGBTQIA lens. They share not just about their perspective as teachers, but also practical ideas of how one could be supportive of students who identify as LGBTQIA+. Next week, though, is we are releasing our episode on Monday. We usually release on Wednesday, but next week will be on Monday because that will be Thanksgiving break for a lot of us. And so heads up for that change. It'll be a unique episode where you get to hear vertical slices of how Orff Conference was like for us. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Also, if you're listening to this episode as you're flying into conference or setting up, please say hello to us. Just like Frank and Aiko have done several times. Well, Aiko, we have a special friendship before that, but we love chatting with you. There's nothing more than two music educators chatting about life, but we will be walking around with a need because we are getting ready for our 2026 Chaotic Harmony game show. We have simple questions about music education, and we know you have answers. So if you're willing, please find us, chat with us, and help fill them out. That all said. Frank, Aiko.
Yes.
We are having you on today, not just because you two are awesome, but there is a through line between Jasmine, myself, and the two of you. Chaotic Harmony is and always has been about the joys, struggles, and all things adjacent to about elementary music, but something that helps music classes are the supports for us teachers, workshops, nonprofits like CMEA, Oak, and Orff local chapters. So that through line isn't just that we're members of a local Orff chapter. We also serve as executive board members of the California Orff chapters. So this is a bit of a episode that's kind of inside baseball. We're going to be talking about how we as music educators help other music educators by bringing veteran music educators to music educators. So that all said, I have some questions for y'all. So could we just go around? Say our name. What is your role in said chapter? And how many years have you been a a part of your current Orff chapter, and how many years have been teaching? That's a lot. So it's in the chat, by the way, in case you get lost. Do you want me to start?
Okay.
Sure.
Sure.
Jonathan Seligman, San Diego Orff chapter, and I've been part of the Orff chapter since 2017. 9 years, 8 years, somewhere there. And then also I'm currently the Orff chapter president, and I've been teaching for 11 years. How about I toss it over to Frank?
Hello, I'm Frank LaGuardia, and I'm part of the Los Angeles chapter of AOSA. And I've been a part of this chapter since 2014. So it's been a while. It's like almost 12 years now. So exciting. So it's been a long, fun journey, and I can't wait to see more. So.
And did you say what your role was?
Oh, and I am currently now the president of the. I think it's my last tenure as president. This is my last year.
Last term? A last year term? Woo!
Last term.
And Frank, go toss to someone.
Oh, I'm gonna toss it to Aiko.
All right. I'm Aiko Sakazaki Anglam. I am part of the Los Angeles chapter. I'm currently VP and membership chair. I've been a member of the chapter since forever, maybe like 2008 or 9, but I wasn't really involved till maybe 2013-ish. But yeah, I've been on the board since pre-COVID, and this is my 18th year teaching. And Jasmine, your turn.
My name's Jasmine Mah. I've been part of AROSA since I think 2021, because that's when I first started teaching. So I was post-COVID. It's my 5th year teaching, and I'm currently the vice president of the AROSA chapter.
My question, I guess, my next question and follow-up is like, what initially got you into being in the Orff chapter, just as a layperson? Like what, because after all, it's a lot of hours to be either a new teacher for Jasmine. I'm not sure how old you were in your teaching careers when you joined Aiko and Frank. I wasn't doing the math, but like, what got you to be a part of the local chapter as a layperson?
Well, I would say, I it's my 26th year teaching, and so I kind of came late to the Orff world in the sense that, I kind of grew up in that conservatory method of music education in California. So I was not introduced at all to any of the Orff process when I was a kid. I mean, it was all band for me. That's was music for me. We sang. I remember singing at general music class, but it was out of a textbook, and that was it. That's all we did. We sat and we sang. So to me, that was elementary education. It wasn't until middle school where I started playing band where I'm like, oh, okay, this is fun. So to me, elementary wasn't really a thing. But then going through that process and then being a performance major at CSUN and then kind of finding a place to, where I could teach a class and then seeing how wonderful it was, I was like, wow, this is great. And then I kind of went into it, but I kind of taught what I knew. But then kind of halfway through, I said, you know what, there's got to be a better way to do this. And started really researching and seeing different things. And I saw that they had local workshops. And I'm like, you know what, I don't know anybody. It's kind of far away from where I live. I think it's like over an hour drive. And I said, let me just give it a shot. So I walked there. I didn't walk there, drove there. I got there and wow, just finding people they're just kind of like you, like who are like super excited about teaching and want to try different things. And I love the movement aspect of it. And then I said, okay, that's cool. And then I'm like, someone at the workshop said, go to the national conference. I'm like, all right. So I went to the Denver conference all by myself, no friends. I just like walked around, ate by myself, made a big mistake. I got a hotel, not at the convention center, which was like, had to rent a car. It was horrible.
How
and I
far
didn't
was
go,
it?
I was like a 20-minute drive. I was trying to save money, but it was like on the wrong side of town. And I didn't get a banquet ticket, which was the saddest part at the end.
No.
And I'm like, but I remember my first workshop class at the national conference was walking in and Doug Gutkin was sitting in the middle of this room like Gandhi, and all these people were like around him, like sitting here, like they're just like, ah. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? I'm like, okay. And then that was my first experience. But then I just like the national conference was it for me. And I haven't missed it since. since 2013. So, but just, finding that local chapter, and then just the people are super cool. Like, people like Aiko and Sarah and Tammy and Evelyn. And there's so many great teachers, and you create those connections and friendships, and it keeps you going. Because, as you know, being the elementary teacher at your school, you're the only music teacher for the most part. I mean, sometimes you have a friend, have a colleague teaching with you, but for the most part, you're the only music teacher. So it's kind of nice talking and be able to talk to their music teachers. Sorry, I went a little long on that one.
No, you're good.
But that was,
I like that.
That was me.
Well, I like how, because you did it just out of your own volition. You checked out, you had no, as you described, it wasn't like you had a friend that encouraged you. You just had decided to check out what was around you, and you went by yourself, which is wild. I would have been scared my own pants doing that. But that's cool. Aiko, how about you? What brought you to the LA Orff chapter?
Yeah, I was definitely encouraged by my supervisors. I used to work for a nonprofit a while ago, and the man in charge of the music portion of our nonprofit was very involved in LA Orff, board member kind of thing. And he kept encouraging me, and I went to workshops here and there, but I had a hard time kind of grasping the concept of it, because I was so overwhelmed when I first started teaching that I'm just like, I'm just trying to survive here. I don't know how to implement this new teaching approach. But then he finally talked me into doing level 1. And I think that's when it really changed for me, because as a lot of us know, doing levels is life-changing, right? And I was like, oh my God, what have I been doing this entire time? So I think after doing level 1, I really got involved and just really started participating and showing up to the workshops. And then from there, like Frank said, we made our close group of friends, and then, yeah, the rest is history. So
the rest is continual history.
Definitely. Yeah, no, but I feel like I always needed that push from a mentor to get involved. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like similar to mine. We'll get to me in a bit. I'm curious here, Jasmine, because Jasmine, you jumped in pretty quick, didn't you? Really quick.
It was
why?
post-COVID.
Why'd you do that?
So for me, a lot of my lessons, because I was raised in the conservatory approach, most of it. But the thing was, all of mine was, how do you teach children online? I was the student teacher in COVID times where all my lessons were online or they were PowerPoints. And I was desperate for anything. I was like, I see these children in front of me that I can't mute or put in a breakout room right now. And these lessons that I've created aren't working. And what can I do? And Jamie Jen, she's the one who was like, you should just come to our AROSA chapter. We have all these workshops. She handed me a flyer, and I was like, okay. The most I've learned about Orff when I was in conservatory was you play Orff instruments.
Yep.
And Carl Orff wrote, what was it? Carmina Burana. I was like, that's about it. So when I came in and went to these workshops, I felt like a switch of this is Orff? This is not what I expected. This is not what I was thinking it would be. And then right after that, Jamie was like, now just go sign up for your levels. I said, okay, and she's like, you're just gonna go through and you're gonna apply, and if they say yes, just think about it. And I was enjoying the workshop so much that when I got accepted into my levels course, I was like, okay, I'll just give it a try. And it kind of snowballed from there, and I continued being a part of the organization since.
Jamie Jun, who demands the fun for you. Very cool. Yeah, I feel like, with the exception of Frank, more power to you for just you were looking for resources. You just went
You
for
were
it.
very brave. I don't know if I'd be like, nope, I can't.
Yeah.
I needed Jamie to drag me over kicking and screaming.
Yeah, I was kicking and screaming. Actually, not literally, but internally, I was really encouraged by my VAP coordinator, who we've talked about, Lauren Shelton, on episode 0. And she was very much encouraging us to join the local Orff chapter. She was very Orff based, but when I went to like my first several Orff sessions, I was unlike you guys. It didn't click immediately. Similar to you, Jasmine, it was like, oh yeah, Orff is a guy who lived a long time ago, and Carmina Burana. But like, I went to like the first several, and sadly, it just didn't speak to me. There's one presenter that came. I remember this specifically. Uh, I'm pretty sure she was really upset at Mark and me because Mark and me were just like messing around the back. But the way she taught was like, there's no way this is relevant to my kids who live like a stone's throw away from the border, who like just this is just so European. This is very like pretty, but not really what I feel like my students need. And it wasn't actually until first off, shout out to why is Cat Wu would be really upset at me. Las Vegas, energizing
More
music room.
information.
Tim.
David Thax.
Tim Wiegand. Tim Wiegand.
Oh.
Um, yes, his session was okay. I see what's going on. And then when I went, took Orff levels, Frank, similar to your experience of Doug Goodkin, I had Dave Thaxton barefoot sitting in the middle of the room and just come hither, my children. No clue what's going on, but that was the revolutionary portion. And from there on, I was like, yeah, this is it. I'm sold. And so how long have y'all been leaders? How many years have you been in the executive board?
I think I've 2, 3 years.
2 to 3.
'Cause I was
Okay.
secretary, and then Jamie and Genesis were like, "Guess who's gonna be vice president?"
You. Told.
I feel like Frank and we've been on it since like COVID, I feel like.
Yeah, before COVID.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
before COVID, we were just like at large members, and then I think during COVID times we started being on.
Yeah,
the
I'll never forget how I got on the board because Richard Lawton he was one of the leaders of that of La Cosa, and I was coming to a lot of the workshops. He said, "Hey Frank, I'm seeing some good things from you. Why don't you join the board?" I was like, "Really? Okay." He's like, "Yeah, come next week and make sure you bring snacks and set up the chairs." I'm like, "Oh." Okay. It's like that was me on the board for like a year and a half, just setting up chairs and bringing snacks. I was like, okay.
What was your first board position?
I think it was like hospitality, setting up chairs, equipment manager. That's what it was.
I'm happy that your Orff chapter has that many people willing to participate, to have a well, we have a hospitality, but like even like the tech element that's really cool. So Frank, Aiko, it's like what, 5 years, 6 years you've been on the board, more or less?
More than that, right?
Oh.
I think it's more than that.
8?
Probably maybe 8, 9. I think.
I'll take 8, 9 over the other two numbers, you know. Just put those
6, 7. Come on.
Okay. So I've been on the board since, similar, Jasmine, secretary, but that was like the fall of 2019, and then something happened in 2020, and then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. And so the thing was, so I guess this is my 6th year. Do you feel like over the past 2, Jasmine, 9, Frank, Aiko, what has changed over the years, ethos wise? Have things changed since you've been leader? Like, what do you like? We're like not just people, but like the ethos of your organization. Have things changed?
I mean, I feel like so much has changed. Where do we start? I feel like maybe our needs have changed a lot. I don't know, post-COVID, I think teachers were just desperate for connection, for material that we can use right away, diverse material, you know. So I don't know, there's so many avenues I can go with this. Where should we go first?
Sure. Actually, how about list, if you have so many, then what are the 4 most pressing things that you think has been a big change in the organization since you've become part of the board? Yeah. So you said diversity of material, connection.
Diversity of material, connection, diversity of presenters, and like access to materials and just like making our resources available to everybody in our LA community. That's been really huge, especially this past year, even like with the fires happening, and then just being able to provide to all of our teachers in LA has been like a huge thing. And that's been personally a big change for me, just kind of like, I feel like where I am now in my career and as part of the board, like I feel a sense of responsibility to really help out everybody. Like the teachers who are like me starting out, you know, first year teachers who are like lost and don't know what to do. I just feel like our chapter has really tried our best to take care of those teachers, you know, if that makes sense.
No, it definitely does.
Yeah.
And actually, I would like to jump on that in a bit and take somewhere else because I like what you just shared. But Frank, how about you?
Well, you know, I mean, COVID, not the greatest thing, right? That happened, but honestly, it was a great thing for our chapter in the sense that we really came together as a group of people to try to solve the problem. And like okay, how are we going to continue workshops? How are we going to live stream things? How are we going to help these teachers who are like isolated now even more than ever? Because now they have to like, you know, remember singing in the classroom was considered the most dangerous thing in the world. Like how they get to present musical ideas without contaminating all their students? Like it was like the music programs took a big hit in that sense that you couldn't sing anymore. You couldn't share instruments anymore. And so as a chapter, we had to come up with like strategies to how can we still help these teachers. So as a board, I thought we really came together and our bonds are really strong because when you go through a shared experience like that, like, you know, then all of a sudden, if another thing happens now, like, hey, we did COVID together. That's, you know, no worries. We could do anything. So I felt like as a chapter, we really came together in that sense. And then, like Aiko said, the resources, we really try to focus on providing as much resources to the LA teachers. And I think that's why they keep coming back. Like, you know, we've had people who were before COVID who stayed with us all this time. And I think it's because we were there for them. And so they feel like, okay, they have our back. And then it's a community of teachers. So, and then, you know, Prop 28 now with all this money coming in, all these new teachers coming in, I think they're seeing the resources that we had. And Aiko did an amazing job putting together resources on our website. And I think they're seeing that, you know, and like, I think that if you're a new teacher and you're looking for help and here's an organization that's providing that help, you're going to like, hey, let me be more a part of this. Plus, we're a bunch of fun people, right, Aiko? Like, it's like, you know, it's a bunch of fun teachers to be around. That we're not that serious at the workshops. We have a lot of fun, and we try to keep it light and energy. And it's a Saturday, so. But I feel like, yeah, after COVID, I think that our chapter really grew. The bonds grew stronger, and I think the resources were more available to people. So
interesting. Yeah. You're saying you're reaching out to all teachers, like. Are you providing like lessons on your website now? Like, what do you mean by that exactly? And both you and Aiko said that. What does that mean? You've been trying to reach out to all teachers.
Yeah, well, it really started the beginning of this year with the fires, and I do want to give a big shout out to Crystal for being one of our amazing, you know, resources and really connecting us to all the other Orff organizations, because we had a lot of our chapter members, you know, either lose their schools or losing homes, and it was a really devastating time. And so we were like, okay, what can we do? Because they don't know what their teaching situation is, right? The schools must go on, but they don't have their classrooms anymore. They lost all their instruments. So we, with the help of friends like Crystal and help from AOSA, we were able to get just like online lesson plans, videos, just really great accessible material that those teachers could just click on and share with their students. So cool. It kind of started there. Yeah. And then I don't know if we want to go into this now, Frank, but we got really lucky with some connections that we had, and we were given a lot of Orff instruments that were not being used at different churches and schools. And so we're starting to create an instrument library system where teachers can borrow instruments and use them at their schools. And
that's
that
awesome.
really helped out. Yeah, all of our teachers.
It's like, yeah, your community came together through two big crises. Going back to what you said, Aiko, about the sense of responsibility. Like you are now, you said that you're an older teacher and you have this responsibility to help out the newer ones. Do you feel like other people in your board have that same ethos? And how have you garnered that?
Yeah, I think we do. Gosh, I don't know how. I feel like our board members were all so passionate about music
Mm.
education, and we're individually musicians, and we perform, and we teach, and I think we just have invested a lot in Orff, and honestly it's really the bond that we've created. And because we care about each other so much, we just want to just be better
Mhm.
and level up. And yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Hmm. Frank, do you have anything to add on to that? I like
We're
that.
the wildflower that floats out to the
Oh boy, here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
Thanks, Carl.
Here we go.
Mr. Orff.
Um, um, I don't know. I can't forget. I just forgot what I was going to say.
That's okay. Like, yeah,
Orff took over me.
the
I
spirit
was
of Orff.
possessed.
Took over
In the spirit of
Slightly
Orff.
as it does.
in the trance.
I mean, I feel like that's what I'm frustrated about, honestly, with like post COVID, is that a lot of people, as I shared earlier, are very much like, for justifiable reasons, are wounded, are tired, are A, B, C, all the above. And so there's a lot of teachers that are just needed to focus on themselves. But the heavy is the burden. And if everyone just took one, I always say this to my friends, if everyone just took 1% more, the burden would be lighter. And I'm really glad that there's a lot of people on your board that have heard the call and are helping each other out in that way to make sure that the load is lighter.
Yeah, I think it's like, not everybody's ready for Orff all the time.
Sure.
And they might just grab it at their points they need it. And then our job is to always have it there. So when they're ready, when a teacher's ready to try it out, they can, come check it out. And I
like
feel like
that.
if we didn't do that, then if we only offered it when we were ready, then it would never match up. So I think like that's like, for me, I've been teaching for a while. I feel like it's the time to give back. It's give back to when I remember when I first started teaching, holy moly, like, it was crazy, like trying to figure out what to do. It's like, I only imagine how these first year teachers, second year, even 10-year teachers, who, everyone's still trying to learn. So that we know how they're always trying to find the new thing or trying to keep up with the new trends of kids. So as long as we're offering something that could help them, then I think that's, you got to pay it forward sometimes. So I think that's where it is. I mean, even though like we probably don't have enough time to do all this stuff, right? Between all the stuff we're doing, between all the things that we're involved in our own schools. But when you think about everyone on the board, you're like, you don't want to let the team down. You're like, I'm going to be there for my team. So yeah.
I guess that is the benefit of, can you raise your shirt one more time? 50 years of joy from LA. Like there is something to be said about a long-term wisdom from a group that's been there for a while. But like, because you do see the dips, you do see the times where it's dry and the times that is plentiful. Do you have a lot of people that in your organization that are there from the beginning or from the early on?
Yeah, we do. And we have several still on our board and they advise us and give us words of wisdom, and they're still very involved. But yeah, we do have like the OG group. And then, yeah, it's exciting because we have I feel like we have all the generations,
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, in fact, the most recent instrument donation we received was from this woman who was on the board decades ago. And she, gosh, I don't want to misspeak on her age, but she was so thrilled. Like, she came to our last workshop, and we brought her up and we acknowledged her, and she was thrilled to see how many people were involved. So yeah, there's definitely we have a legacy, I
That's
think,
cool.
in our chapter.
Aiko and Frank, I have my thoughts, but what do you find is the benefit of having the multi-generational element? What do you think is the best? Because I feel like there's some people who find that, oh, it's time for me to step aside for the younger generation to take over, and then they don't show up at all. But the fact that you have the older generation and the newer generation all in the same mix. First off, shout out to you to LaCosa. Like, it sounds like you're doing some good stuff there. Also, upset that y'all had Mika and Sarah the day we had a session down in San Diego. I really wanted to go there last year, but alas. But I'm sorry, I'm sidetracked myself. What do you find is the benefit of having a multi-generational board as opposed to just the up and comers or just the old folk? What do you think is the benefit of having multi-generational Orff?
Well, I think it's when we make decisions, we always like to ask and say, hey, what's your thoughts on this? You know, from the perspective of, you know, years back, how the chapter ran things. Like, what's your take on this? So it's always good to hear their take on like how things were run before, you know, so we kind of keep that legacy alive. And then it's great to hear them be excited about the new ideas too. So then we kind of feel like, oh, there's a buy-in there. Like, they like this new idea of what we're doing. They're like, yeah, we really like that. And they almost, and to them, I feel they feel a sense of pride that they're seeing this thing that they've been a part of, like, still flourish. Like, I could just see it, like when Deborah is like watching us talk about it, she just seems so happy. Like this is so great that this is still alive. Like, I think in her heart, it's just like, oh, okay, yes, you know. So that's great seeing that. So, but we really value their opinions. Even when we redid our banner, which was a little controversial, because okay, our banner. Okay, come on. Every year we go to the conference. We're going to this conference. Everybody's banner is like woohoo, and then La Cosa comes out. Wah wah wah. It's like, okay, and I can understand. Okay, it was cool when they made it back whenever, but then we're like, we need to update this. So. I remember after we did it, this one teacher came up to us and said, "Who made this decision on changing our banner?" I'm like, "Oh, it was our board." She's like, "Oh, okay," and she walked away. So I don't know. Maybe she really liked the old banner, but luckily, like our members on the board have been around for a long time, they really liked the new banner. So like we felt like, okay, we're still keeping the legacy of La Cosa and with this new banner, and then moving it into, you know, the new age, you know. So again, and if you haven't seen our banner, it was the talk of the conference a couple years ago.
It's good stuff. I think there's something beautiful about having people of the former generations be a part of it. Like, it's really cool to hear that. Yeah, they give insight. Like, we have one person that she's still part of, not the executive board, but she's still part of the board meetings. Dorothy, she's amazing. She's amazing. She's definitely someone that is much more of a support, and she doesn't like the limelight, but it is like she has grounded us as this young board has trying to understand what are we supposed to do. And as I said earlier, like, the fact that your institution has lasted 50 years and it's been through the dry spots and the plentiful spots, Dorothy reminds us, y'all, it's kind of been like this before. We've had this hard times, but you're going to push through nonetheless. And having institutional knowledge is really key so that you know how to navigate being a board for and being a support for other people. So shout out to La Cosa. Shout out. I have so many questions, and I want to be also respectful of your time. I guess so. First off, has attendance? It seems like y'all are rocking it over La Cosa. AROSA, has your attendance wavered since COVID? Has there been a hit?
I was only here after COVID, but based on what I've seen, it's definitely, and what I've heard, it's different.
Our producer says it's different.
Yeah, our producer is telling me it's different. And that's where I've heard, and I think it's definitely like post-COVID, there was a lot of retirements that happened post-COVID, and that's when a lot of our key board members and our founding board members kind of went retired, and we're like, okay, it's all up to you, AROSA, you got like this new board, you got this.
Mm.
So, and that's why I talked a lot about like us rebuilding that foundation and who we are as a chapter is we're still, I feel like, in my opinion, a young chapter still trying to figure out what we're trying to build. So
Mm.
there has been a dip in like membership, but I think it's been very interesting as we try to experiment what's been working, what hasn't been working as a chapter.
Okay. For LaCosta, I know you guys are doing awesome stuff, but has there been a dip in um member in attendance?
Yeah, I think right after COVID, it definitely dipped for sure. And we were trying to figure out our finances, like how are we going to stay afloat, all that stuff, right?
And yeah.
Um, but every year we have been going up steadily. And yeah, I think we're really lucky in that sense. I don't know, we've just been working really hard with like outreach. Um, this year we started with a joint chapter share with Kodai chapter, and that brought in a whole slew of people, and we got more interest. So we are becoming more robust again. So it's definitely been, it dipped and then we're on the rise.
Cool. So, what have you all done? Have you done anything different to garner members back?
We in AROSA, oh, sorry. We in AROSA have been adding a lot more into the social media lens. Now we have a executive board member who does just precisely that, and they've been doing awesome. But I think what we've been noticing as well is we always give out feedback and ask what people are looking for and what they need, and we tried catering presenters to that need, but then it's not increasing
Yeah.
people either. And that's something that we've been talking about as a chapter of like, well, if they're asking for this and we're providing it, but no one's coming, how are we going to increase that membership? How are we going to get more of Orff's name out? And that's also been like, we've done presentations as an Orff chapter for our cap section and trying to advertise that way so people get an idea of Orff in the basics.
Cap section?
Cap section, CMEA?
Okay.
Yeah, for
Cap
CMEA.
section.
Well, that's our Sacramento's area
Oh, the
cap
cap.
section.
Okay. Gotcha.
Capital section.
Capital.
So we have done presentations for CMEA and other areas as well, just to get our name out there. And we've noticed that sometimes that helps as well. But we're still kind of like at the drawing board and experimenting for sure.
Asking your membership what they want is a good idea. How about you, LaCosta folk?
Well, I want to shout out Frank because I call him the Walt Disney of our chapter because he has so many innovative ideas. And I think, Frank, this started with you. One of the things, exactly, one of the things that he started when he came into his presidency is starting our season with a free chapter share. So chapter share used to be included in our package before, and it used to be at the very end of the school year, which, like, at that point, everyone's burnt out and no one wants to go to a chapter share. So we put it at the beginning of the school year and turned it into like this drive, a membership drive, made it free for anybody. And it was, I feel like that has brought a lot of newcomers in, and then many of them do end up signing up for membership because they see what it's like. We've also done the last 2 years we started adding swag to the full members. So like last year we gave away free tote bags with our logo if you became a free member or a full member. This year we have awesome stickers that Frank created. So just like little fun things like that.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then our workshops used to be like full day, 9 to 3, I want to say.
Oof.
I know. And then, when Frank and I, we were just like, no, that's like no one wants to do that. So we are now 9 to 1, and I feel like that has kept people, it has brought people in and it has kept them from leaving during the middle. So yeah, so those have been some of our strategies.
And I'm going to shout out Aiko because, I mean, look, like this is all happening, right? But unless you know about it, you don't know about it, right? So Aiko, like all the work she does on the communication side of things, of the email, of the branding of what's happening and the flyers and all this and that, like that going out on a consistent basis, getting to all the people, because like teachers are super busy, right? Like we forget there's workshops, and all of a sudden these like really beautiful emails come through. They're just like basic text emails. There's like really nice, like colorful and the all the links are there. It's just so easy for someone to go, oh yeah, that's right, that's coming up soon. Let me click on that. So Aiko's like her reorganizing and reimagining of that email is like been huge, because that's like your only communications with all your attendees. So shout out to Aiko for revamping the email.
Nice.
Yeah, and I mean we try to like really create traditions in the chapter, so that people like the way things work. The break happens at a certain time, and this is at the end. Like we sing a song to the presenter, and Aiko's brilliant idea was to get an Oscar. We get an Oscar. She actually engraves the Oscar for best presenter, and we present them at the end of the song. We give them the Oscar, and like the presenter like just freaks out. Like they're like, "What is happening?"
Is it for chapter
here?
share?
No, this is for all of our workshops.
Oh, okay. But how do you send out the Oscar until you just watch all of the
No,
presenters?
so
They all get best presenter.
all
'cause
get
they
best presenter.
all-
Oh, okay.
So that this tradition, and like the attendees they know that we're going to give this out every time, so they're excited to sing the song at the end. So like it creates these little traditions in the and then I mean maybe one of the most important things we do is our coffee game is good. We got good coffee game, because if you're going to hold a workshop, you better get some good coffee, because you know, come on. But and then we also do raffles at the end. We're giving away prizes. It's just like a fun event. And then but people know what to expect, how it's gonna run, the time frame. We really try to stop it right at 1 o'clock. No, like, hey, and then oh yeah, what about this? No, 1 o'clock, we're out of here.
Gotcha.
See ya, and then leave them wanting more. So, but yeah. So some of the strategies we do, but the Oscar thing is, oh my gosh, that's like the cherry on top of the cake, because it's just like, it's awesome.
Because our terms are limited, thankfully, and we always want to have more people join in. Do you have any advice to someone who's stepping into the local chapter leadership? Like, what would your advice be to someone who is interested, who is like curious? What would your advice be?
I think for me is don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, don't be afraid to ask the past positions. I know for me, like I walked into a role and I was like, okay. Like I didn't really know what I was walking into when I first went on exec board, but I was really glad that I had the support of everyone else in the ROSA, where if I was like, I have no idea how to do this report, someone please help me. Like what's going on here? Or if something was unclear to me, like I felt very comfortable being like, how do I do this? Can someone please help me out? And I think that's the wonderful thing that really brought me to AROSA was, and I think many people to AOSA is the community that is brought, is we feel very supported by the people, and making sure that like every contribution, like there's no contribution that's too big or too small. We want to make sure that like everyone's doing their best, and sometimes we're not in the headspace. We have that roof chatter going on, or there's life is life. You never know what it's gonna hit you with. And sometimes we need like to give each other grace is what I've noticed is like, but being able to know that like I could call Genesis or I could call Jamie or Stephanie and be like, hey, I'm sorry, like I really need some help with this. I know that I'm gonna get that support from them when they're able as well.
So feel free to ask questions because people are there to help. I like that. Aiko, how about you?
Yeah, I think for us, I would say, so if someone's interested in being on the board, you know, we're lucky to have a lot of at-large board members, And that's where, you know, we all started, right? When we come onto the board, we were not given like we're not obviously in the executive board positions. So we don't move anyone into an executive board position until they're ready or even interested. So we actually have people who are on the board that have just been at large this entire time, you know, and they're still there. They show up, but it's been a decade, and they're happy to be involved. They're not ready for that big responsibility, but they're happy to be hospitality or whatever it is. And just kind of want to echo Genesis and Jasmine's, you know, idea about no contribution is too big or too small. We want to make sure that everyone on our board feels needed. And so another great idea that Frank has implemented is giving each person like a certain little title, even if it's not like a huge executive title. So like we have like the equipment manager, we have hospitality, we have community liaison, you know, we have social media. So like everyone knows that they have a place in the chapter and a duty, and I think that makes them more invested also.
Cool. Frank, you have anything you want to add on to Aiko?
Yeah. So, and then the treasurer is the coolest job ever. That's what we always tell everybody. If you're the treasurer, that's like the creme de la creme. You get free drinks anywhere you go. Just everyone join to be the treasurer.
So maybe this is a message to boards. Treasure your treasurers.
Free drinks for the treasurer.
Free drinks for treasurer.
That's good.
Actually, you know what? Maybe I might do that. I might steal that.
Maybe.
Raina, if you're
Yeah.
listening,
Honestly, we
thank
might
you so
steal
much.
that too.
Yeah. Don't leave just yet. We do have more after the break.
Hey, we just want to take a quick moment to shout out Mission Trails Financial, the partner making this show possible at no cost to you. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by financial planning, you're not alone. But Mission Trails Financial is here to make things simpler. They offer tailored financial advice for you, from investments to tax and insurance planning, with a team of experienced fee-based advisors who are CFP designated and fiduciaries. That means they're putting your best interests first. Let's face it, navigating the world of finances can feel like drinking from a fire hose, with endless options for investments just a mouse click away. But Mission Trails Financial aims to cut through the noise by breaking things down into clear, actionable steps while providing regular updates. Mission Trails Financial believes everyone has the right to work with a financial advisor, regardless of how much you've saved. Mission Trails Financial's focus is building a relationship so you are not traveling your financial path alone. They even help you keep track of old 401ks when you're transitioning between jobs, because your financial future should always stay on track, no matter what changes. So don't wait. Let Mission Trails Financial show you how to make that next step towards the future you've worked hard for. Plus, your first consultation is absolutely free. Just visit missiontrailsfinancial.com or call 619-419-0238 today. You'll be glad you did, because leaning on professionals like Mission Trails Financial is how we get ahead. Check out the program notes for more details. Advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors LLC, a registered investment advisor.
Welcome back. But before we continue, you know what's up. Hard left turn. Thank you all so much for being a part of this nearly 7-year journey. Whether you joined us in episode 0 with Lauren and Shelton, or you're new today, thank you. It means so much to have you join us. And if you would like for this journey to continue, please make sure you support the things you love. A good mantra in general in life. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/chclassroom, where you can get special merch and other things for the class. We are revamping it, and it should be ready after Orff conference. So in 2 weeks, it should be ready from when you're listening to this, at least. With that, if you don't have a coin to toss away, that's okay. But there are free ways to support us. You can leave us a review on Apple or Spotify. Make sure you leave us a review. It helps the algorithms know that they still love us and you still love us and love us all around. 5 stars, though. Love is not around if there's less than 5 stars. Make sure you follow us on YouTube, socials. Leave this episode a like, write a nice comment. All these things ensure that the mics and lights stay on. That all said, we are going to continue what we did 2 weeks ago, our reverse spiccato. So Reverse spiccato, to those who are unaware, new or got hit in the head by a chicken nugget, spiccato is where you have a household item and everyone just decides, what are you going to do with that to make a lesson? How are you going to make a lesson with it? Reverse spiccato was inspired by your friend, our friend, everyone's friend, Joshua Block. And the idea is that I'm going to pull up a wheel, and unfortunately, we'll have to find a way, Genesis, Mr. Producer, man, on how to have it like baked invisibly. But at the moment, what we have is 8 options. We have levels, we have reading notation, beats, vocal exploration, mirroring, composition, ABA form, and dynamics. I'm going to spin the wheel. Whatever it lands on, you have to grab a household item on how you teach that. Let the wheel spin. And it is, how would you teach levels? So high, medium, low. How would you teach an activity with levels? What do you have around you to do that? Jasmine, are you the first winner?
I didn't even know I had this on my desk until you said levels. I was like, oh, wait.
So what you got there? For our audio listeners, what do you have?
I got the measuring tape. Like, just funny because I was just using this. But honestly, using this, like having students make shapes, utilizing the measuring tape, like you can lock it into place. Or I could bend it in the other ways. So students could utilize matching it with their bodies.
Okay.
But also showing levels using this. Like high, medium, low.
Okay.
And how they could show that.
Cool.
Who, me next? Am I next?
Frank. Yeah, sure.
Oh my God. Okay, I was just looking around the music room. I was thinking boom whacker.
Oh, boom whacker.
So of course you have different heights of boom whackers, right? You can maybe create shapes with a group of 3 kids. Maybe they could pick different boom whacker heights and then make these shapes, or maybe create a little limbo. How low can you go? Movement going underneath the boom whacker. But I think creating these shapes with highs and lows, longs and shorts could be kind of fun. I don't know. Zoom out farther away. That's the fastest thing I can come up with.
Cool. Aiko, you got anything for us?
This is actually, as a student just gave it to me the other day for Dia de los Muertos. This is like a flower clip thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's kind of like pom-pom-ish. So you could either do levels, obviously holding it, tableaus, different shapes, different, levels. But then you could also put it on your body, different places.
Adding more.
Yeah, or
With the
really
flowers,
sophisticated.
You could always talk about like the life cycle of flowers. So like
That's true.
A sprout, a flower,
like that
and go over those
cross-curricular connection.
I have another thing that maybe not everyone has, but maybe you can have some sort of thing that's like it. Give me 1 second. Sorry.
The
We just need
suspense.
the Jeopardy theme song.
So I can you hear me, Mr. Producer Man? Awesome. Cool. I got a light stand. So not everyone has this, but maybe you could find some sort of item that does something similar. Help me out, someone. So the idea is that they're doing a movement. They're maybe exploring crawl. They're exploring squiggle, and the light stand is at the low end. Then, without saying anything, high end, middle end, and so it's a way of a visual reminder to our listeners. If you have something that you would be a great way to teach levels. If you are on the socials, please make sure you take a picture of yourself with it and just say #reverse spiccato. And we'd love to see your responses. We'll be glad to share it with other people. If you're a little more on the shy end or you're not on the socials, you can always email us, chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com with that. Speaking of reaching us, again, Aiko, Frank, it's been wonderful chatting with you. I would love to have one-on-one with you, but before that happens, is there a way if people want to reach out? First off, to LaGuardia, do they have socials where they could see what's going on?
Yeah, you can go to the website, laorff.org, And then also you can go on Facebook, and I think we have Instagram, right?
We have Instagram and TikTok at
TikTok.
LA Orff.
Oh,
We should
okay.
start doing TikToks. Seriously. Like, right? Okay, you know what? This is okay.
So
Here,
conference collab TikTok
yes, right here.
with
You heard
all
it
the
first.
chapters.
We're making a TikTok at conference this year. Come on.
Let's do it. Let's start with the bear folk.
It's
and then
happening. It's happening.
Let's do it.
We should do it at roll call, right when we're waiting and banner call. We're about to go on and we're holding our banners. Oh, okay.
Okay. And do you have anything you want to share that's on the horizon for LaCosa?
Ooh. Well, our instrumentarium is about to be introduced soon, so we'll have ability to rent out instruments or borrow instruments. Hopefully that will spread the wildflower out to them. And
our next workshop is January 24th with Drew Bullington. So
Nice.
that's going to be awesome.
yes.
Okay. And also, actually, let's just go around with the first off of our chapters. So, Jasmine, do you want to shout out the AROSA chapter and how they could reach the AROSA folks?
Yeah, for sure. So we have our website, americanriverorff.com. It's been a bit revamped, but if you have any questions on there, if you message the contact sheet, you're probably gonna get in contact with me. So if you have any questions or want to let us know anything, feel free to message us there. Coming up, our next one won't be until February. I think it's February 28th.
Oh, shoot.
Let me double check my dates. Yes, February 28th, we will have Tom Borden as our primary presenter that day.
Very cool. Do you have socials? Did you say that
Our
already?
social, American River Orff on
American River
Instagram
Orff. Okay, cool.
and
You can
Facebook.
find San Diego Orff folk. We are SDORF.org. Also on the socials, we are SD_underscore Orff. And if you want to email us, you can email us at SDAOSAprez@gmail.com for if you want to reach out. Our next session, we just had one with Crystal. It was supposed to be Jamie, but we made a switcheroo. So Jamie Junn, who brings the fun, she's actually coming on February 28th as well. So if you're in the SoCal area, feel free to come and see us then. We will be at Richland Elementary. If you know what that is, it's in our socials. But regardless of that, if they want to reach out to you specifically, Frank, because you're an awesome person, how can they reach out to you?
Well, they can go to my website, franklaguardia.com.
Ooh.
And all of the links are there. But and then, of course, I teach at Meadows Arts and Technology Elementary School in Thousand Oaks. So if you go to themates.org, you can find me there too.
Nice. Aiko, how are you?
Yeah, I'm in charge basically for all of the LA Orff Gmail emails. So if you just do laorffchapter@gmail.com, it will be me answering.
Cool. Jasmine?
You can reach me on Instagram as Jasmine Riceflower. Jasmine like JSMINE with the E at the end. Rice like the food, and flower like the food, not like the plant. But they're both plants, I've come to realize. But yeah, or if you message the AROSA website, I'm happy to answer, or the AROSA Instagram, you either get me or you get our social media person, Teresa, and we're happy to answer any questions.
Cool. And you can find me at Mr. Seligman, MrSeligman on all the socials, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky. Blue Sky, I'm doing a little more of an experimentation with trying to find out how music education and video games fuse together. So that's kind of like what I'm chatting on the chats there. You can also find us at CH Classroom on the same socials as well. And as I mentioned before, if you want to email us, whether it is something you want to share about Spiccato, or you have a guest in mind, or you want to be that guest, or you just want to share a big heart to Genesis for producing this video, then you can email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com. Thank you all so much. Frank, Aiko, thank you for joining us.
Hey, and I just want to say one thing.
Yes.
I just want to thank you guys because I know how much time it takes to put on a podcast and the effort you guys, basically volunteer to spread the word. And I was listening since the beginning, and I loved the real take that you guys had on teaching and the struggles and the triumphs that you had. And in days when you're like, oh man, this is tough, and you hear other people talking about it, it keeps you going. So I just want to thank you guys for all you've done and keeping the magic going. I know Crystal and the other gang's not with you guys, but you guys are still keeping it going. And kudos to you guys. So hey, cheers to you for doing this, and it's awesome.
Well, thank you, Frank. And just a heads up, Crystal isn't as active, but she still is showing up. So
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
she was actually going to be on the episode before this. So yeah, but thank you, Frank. I do appreciate the support. I know you've been listening for a while, and it's great to finally have you on. Finally. So thank you all. And expect Aiko and Frank eventually on the horizon. But until then, bye. Hey, and
You guys have like a hand sign? Whoa. Wait.
It's
Now I gotta
right.
start thinking of some AROSA
Yeah.
AR. Like
that's gonna be a hard one, Jasmine.